Episode 7 of Noragami Season 2 might have had one of the sweetest endings I have ever seen in any anime. That ending right there, that right there just gets to your heart, and it definitely makes sense why people ship these two characters so much, because there are the moments that we get like this. But I will say that right there was probably the best interaction that we ever got in between Yato and Hiyori, so far. But this episode, it was fairly simple for the most part. We got more of what a blessed vessel role is. We learn now what an exemplars, role is now. We get introduced to, a few new gods, but the one god that obviously we're focused on for the time being is Ebisu. But we see that the episode itself, it starts off now where we have, Hiyori, Yato, and Yukine, and they have returned after the whole Bishamon ordeal, and we see now that everybody was so glad, they were back, and even Kofuku's regalia was glad that they were back as well. And we have, Yato bragging that Yukine had become, a blessed vessel. And so we see that everybody was very shocked about that. We even have, Kofuku's regalia, and we also have, Yato X regalia as well. Both of them were very shocked to see this. And so we see now that while everybody was praising, Yukine, we have Hiyori, wondering what that was. And then we have, Kofuku explaining, and pretty much, a blessed vessel is what we already know, but I definitely like the words you use. It's where, in a regalia, or, it's pretty much where a regalia will put their name on the line to protect their master. And that right there definitely takes a special kind of regalia to do something like that. So it definitely made sense why Yukine got power up. And so we see now that Tenzin, he did kind of ruin the moment, because we have Hiyori about to leave, but Tenzin had stopped her, and we see now that he was reminding he was reminding Yato about what he had to do. And we learn now that the second condition that Yato had to fulfill, after dealing with Bishamon, we all know the first one that was that no one can find out he was involved, but the second one was that he must sever his ties with Hiyori, and that right there was kind of messed up. And we see now that after that, I would imagine that maybe a day or two had passed, but we have Hiyori now walking with her friends, and we do know, luckily, she did not fail, her grade, because she actually moved on to the next one. And so we see that while walking with her friends, we have Yato appearing out of nowhere, because we have her friends talking about what club they would join. And so we have Yato saying that they should all join the Yato club. And we see him now being really persistent about this. And we see at one point Hiyori actually collapsed, and we see that obviously her soul came out. So even though, Yato was supposed to, sever, his ties with her, obviously that right there was not the case. And we even see Tenzin, actually see them, messing around. And that right there, I thought maybe something bad was going to happen, but no, Tenzin did nothing but just stay there. But we see now one of his regalias actually came for him. And so we see now that Bishamon, she was being called in by the other gods, because obviously of her recent actions. And so we see now that because of that, they were all questioning her and calling her out on everything. And we even see now that rather than getting rid of Kuguha, they actually wanted her to bring him in, so that way they could question him, because right now these masked ones are a very, very special type of phantom that are made by user scourges or something like that. And so right now they wanted to know just how in the world was Kuguha, how was Kuguha getting them to the special place where all the gods were, because right there, nothing like that ever happened before. And so right now, Bishamon had told them that Kuguha, he was not bound by that name. So obviously this guy was like kind of like a Nora, but no one can find him. So right now this guy is like a huge mystery. But I do want to believe that Kugaha or whoever he is, I do want to say that like maybe he was like actually taken out by Nora, or at least the Nora that we all know about. And also it was hilarious where Bishamon, how I mentioned Yato, because obviously they were thinking about a snake god, and also that name like Yato something like Orochi, like something like that. That right there is like actually a famous name, used in like very very like different medias. But no, she was like talking about Yato. We all know the triangless god that we all love. And when they were like wondering, just how in the world did he even get there, I was like dying laughing, where Tenzin was just like, coughing, because obviously we all know it was him. And so right now after that, we have Kazuma who was there, and we hear all the other people, talking about Bishamon and him, and really like, that right there kind of pissed me off, because, they can all talk about themselves, but they would never say crap to their faces. And so right now, where we have Bishamon, coming back, we see now that one of the gods that were there, he was like one of the 7 gods of fortune. And I do believe that this guy, or I do believe that the people behind him, I believe those right there was his regalias. I don't think the other ones were like, I don't believe that they were the other 7 gods of fortune. But this guy was like very popular, despite how he looked. And we even have him, trying to get Bishamon to come to a party, and that right there freaking blew my mind. Who knew that like gods can be, such party animals? And we had Bishamon, asking him about a certain god named Ebisu, and obviously he was not there, but he is one of the 7 god of fortune. And we see now that where he was, he actually went to Yato and Yukine, and we see that like one of his regalias, who was like this old man, we see now that this guy had bought out a suitcase full of money, and we see now that like this guy actually wanted to buy Yukine, and that right there, excuse me for a minute, sorry about that. But this guy Ebisu, he had the nerve to actually buy Yukine, and we see now that like Yato actually almost fell for it, because when like Yato saw all that money, that greed just like went right to his head. And we see now that like Yukine, he was actually going to be offered or paid actually $1 million a month just for like serving this guy. And we see now that like Ebisu was like willing to pay anything for Yukine, and not even that, he also was like willing to even share Yukine, making him a Nora, and that right there is like a taboo among gods. And so now because of that, now we have, Yukine confused, and we have Yato, almost giving into the money. And then we have Hiyori popping up out of nowhere, and she was like getting the wrong idea, because at first she had sold this money and she thought maybe Yato had robbed someone. And then when like Yato told her what was going on, she was thinking that like maybe he has sold, he has sold Yukine off. And that right there would have been messed up, but no, apparently, Ebisu was like just fine leaving all that money with Yato, because right now, he was like thinking about it. And so now we see both of them were like very confused, and we see now that at one point they actually got contacted for a job while they were like thinking, while they were thinking about what to do with all this money. And so we see now that the guy who had called them sound like very very out of breath. And so right now, Yato wasn't sure about picking up the job, but Yukine was like, you have no right to, complain about any work. And so obviously they had to accept it. And we learned now there was like some kind of scam going on, and we have this guy mother who fell for it. And so right now they actually wanted Yato to actually get his mother's money back. And so now, when they were actually waiting for the guy who was like behind the scam, we have Yato and Yukine kind of like get into a fight because we see now that Yato, right now he like for some reason he was acting very cold toward Yukine because we see now that like he was like, you humans are so worried about money, go be with Ebisu for all I care. And we see now that like Yukine, he has to think about Nora because we see that every regalia that Yato has had, they have all left him. And because of that, time and time and again, he had fell back for using Nora, and that right there, well, like you can realize that if Yato got rid of him, he would just fall back into his old pattern and go use Nora once again. And we see now that when the guy has showed up, and we have Yato calling to Yukine. At first, he did not respond, but the second time he did, and we see now that Yukine obviously transformed. But we see now that this guy, the man behind this scam, that phantom that was like on his head was so small, like a little flea. Yato, or Yukine, I just say, could not cut it at all. And obviously that right there was like definitely bad. And we have Yato now chasing them, and we see that he actually dropped like a coin. And because of that, Yukine actually got an idea where Yato would like keep tracking him, and Yukine would head back and and go deal with the phantom because this guy had a plan. And so pretty much what Yukine did, he actually got all the money that Ebisu had left for Yato, and we see now that where they found where this guy was at, we see them using that money as bait, and we have Yukine throwing the money over the roofs, and so that way, it will fall. And we see now that when this man being controlled by the phantom, going out there getting the money, he was so overwhelmed that in his excitement, he actually made that phantom grow, pretty rapidly. And so right now it was time to deal with it, but we have Yato, being greedy once again because he did not want that money to go to waste, and we even have him stuffing his pockets with it. And so right now we have Yukine asking him, why in the world do you want this money or shrine? Because that right there is like Yato's dream. And also Yukine has definitely matured, so freaking much, because we see now that we have Yukine thinking of his role now as an exemplar, because right now, he sets the bar for any future regalia that Yato might get. And we also learned that Kobaku's regalia, he is also hers, but that's because she only has one. And we see now that every time she gets reincarnated, his only job is to raise her. And so I do wonder just how often does this happen, because maybe because she is the god of poverty, she might not have a lot of followers because she does cause disaster unless people actually go to her, so that way she actually can bring, so that way she can actually, mess up people's lives. But that right there would be cruel. But obviously we have learned the roles of the different, exemplars that people have. We already know Kazuma's role. Apparently Ebisu's, exemplar is that older man that we saw with the suitcase. And obviously now Yukine was thinking what he has to do, because right now Yukine has a pretty big, responsibility ahead of him. And so right now he was thinking that maybe he should stop Yato from being so greedy. And so eventually now, where Yato realized how much he had grown, that right there is where Yato, had man up, and we see them now taking out that phantom. And so obviously now, because of that, everything ended, pretty well. And so now the following day we have Hiyori there, and everybody was having a good time, because obviously Yukine had turned down Ebisu's offer, and there was no way he was ever going to leave Yato anyway. But we see now that Yato, he was in a bit of a funk, because obviously he really wants a shrine, and that money would definitely help them. And then we have Hiyori doing the sweetest thing I have seen probably probably all year, where she actually made him like this mini shrine. And when like Yato saw that, that right there, just like made him cry because he was so happy. And so we see now that we see at one point a younger Yato, and we see like some kind of shrine. I'm guessing that what it was. And we saw like little offerings there, like nothing special, but he had really wanted his own shrine. And now that he has one, even though it's a mini one, it's still a shrine to him, and that right there is like all that matters. And we even see now that Hiyori, she actually spent all night working on this, and we see that because of that, she actually messed up her fingers as well. But that right there just shows how serious she was about making this. And so right now, at the end, we go back to Ebisu, and we see that all these masks behind them, and obviously we have seen those masks because they belong to the masked ones. And so right now, I'm thinking that maybe Ebisu is like Nora's father, even though that right there might sound strange, but think about it. He was fine with like Yukine being a Nora, so that right there really shouldn't roll out that this guy, is probably using one. But overall, the episode, like I said, it was freaking good. Ebisu is now in the picture, and obviously this guy is now, our villain for the time being. So I do wonder what he might do, because I definitely don't think that he will give up on Yukine anytime soon, especially with those masks right there. Obviously, this guy is definitely probably, plotting something. But as always, let me know what you thought about the episode, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really helps me out. But as always, you gotta take it easy. I will see you all next time.